Tonight on Reporting Scotland, a nurse suspended in a row over sharing a changing space with a transgender doctor is suing NHS Fife. Sandy Peggie claims being made to get changed beside Dr Beth Upton amounted to unlawful harassment under the Equality Act. Also on tonight's programme, after Donald, one of Scotland's most famous.
We have absolutely no intention of banning cats.
Hello, I'm Laura Miller. Welcome to Monday's programme. A nurse who was suspended after complaining about sharing a changing room with a transgender colleague is giving evidence at an employment tribunal. Sandy Peggie claims being made to get changed beside Dr Beth Upton, who is a trans woman, amounted to unlawful harassment under the Equality Act. Ms Peggie's claim is disputed by NHS Fife, which has described the case as unnecessary and vexatious. Our reporter Stephen Godden has the story.
Sandy Peggie has been an NHS Fife nurse for more than 30 years. Today, she arrived to give evidence at a tribunal in a dispute that centres on the use of a hospital changing room. Nurse Peggie claims that being made to share a changing room with a transgender colleague, Dr Beth Upton, amounts to harassment under the Equality Act. Acknowledging it is a contentious area, the tribunal judge addressed the issue of language at the start of the hearing, ruling that each side could use their preferred pronouns when stating their case. Nurse Peggie's lawyers would refer to Dr Upton as he, and Dr Upton's counsel would say she. Sandy Peggie told the tribunal that when they first met on shift at Kirkcaldy's Victoria Hospital in August 2023, she thought Dr Upton was male. That same month, she said she walked into the changing room and saw Dr Upton, who is a trans woman, sitting on a bench. Nurse Peggie said she was embarrassed and upset that Dr Upton was allowed to use a changing room that had a female-only sign on the door. After walking out and waiting for Dr Upton to leave, she said she spoke to her line manager, who told her it would get sorted. Following a similar incident in early November, the tribunal heard a third incident on Christmas Eve involved Dr Upton starting to undress beside Nurse Peggie.
I told him I was embarrassed and intimidated and I didn't think he should have been in there. Beth informed me that he had as much right to be there as I did. I told him that wasn't true. If I wanted to get changed in front of a man, I would have went to the male changing rooms.
The tribunal heard within days Sandy Peggie was placed on special leave and later suspended as NHS Fife bosses investigated a complaint of bullying. Questioned by her employer's legal team, Nurse Peggie denied treating Beth Upton differently to other colleagues. It was put to her, your dislike of Beth Upton was so strong that you refused to work with her to the disadvantage of patients. I disagree with that, she replied. The reason you did that, it was put to her, is because she's trans. No, definitely not, was Nurse Peggie's reply. NHS Fife and Dr Upton dispute Sandy Peggie's claim. The tribunal will continue hearing evidence tomorrow. Stephen Godden, Reporting Scotland, Dundee.